Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Answers podcast, episode 4. This is. I am your host, Jack, or Miyamo Jeff 53, joined as ever by my co-host, Joebot 22 Gaming.
Hello. Today we're gonna have a waptastic day. I don't think there's anything else that we can really say. But hello. That was the wap joke for the week.
Great.
The weekly wap.
Yep. Moving on from that.
Let's just get on with it.
Yeah, just no
Hello,
sell it
everyone.
completely. Yeah, hello. We've got things lined up for this week. I think we're best just to crack on. We don't really have a lot to say. I will quickly say it was Fastlane last night, as of when we're recording. Recording this day before it goes out, of course. Do you have anything to say about Fastlane? I didn't watch it, so
I haven't seen it yet, but
great.
I didn't even hear what happened. But
yeah, all I really know is I think the Fiend returned, and Roman Reigns beat Daniel Bryan. So if anyone didn't want spoilers for Fastlane, too bad, because I've spoiled it for
spoiler
you.
alert, guys.
Yeah, and I haven't even seen it, so have some of that.
Yeah.
So
spoiled it for you.
exactly, you spoiled it for yourself coming and listening to this podcast. Anyway,
You knew what it would be about. Shame on you.
Exactly. Yeah, you knew it would be about wrestling. So, topic number 1 for this week. It's another match stipulation. First blood matches. What do you think?
Stupid. Like, they're just stupid, aren't they? Like, it's such a stupid concept. I would rather like an I Quit match or a Falls Count Anywhere match or just a simple no disqualification. First blood matches? Oh, that is ridiculous. Because half the things that you think would make him bleed don't, and then they come in with like some stupid thing. Oh, they went through a flaming table, and now their head cracked open. Stupid. I don't like them.
Yeah, I think first blood matches. Well, there's a reason we haven't had them in so long, and it's because WWE don't really like blood anymore.
Yeah. PG era.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, there were quite a few in the Attitude Era. I think first blood matches. The reason you don't really think of them as a good match is because there never has been. Because other than probably in like ECW somewhere,
That's true.
other than like in like ECW, I doubt you're gonna get any like big time first blood matches. I remember Kane and Stone Cold had a first blood match back in '98, and that's it. And I think that was only interesting because it was pretty much stacked so that Austin couldn't win because Kane wears a mask, and you're not going to see him bleeding through a mask, are you? So, especially when his mask is already red. So, yeah,
But
it's,
now, I just personally think they're stupid. I mean, I like them in the video games. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
Like I remember like WWE 13 had it as a stipulation, I think. But apart from that, I just think they're stupid.
Yeah, I think especially as you said, like in the PG era, they don't really have a place anymore. I say that I could see the Fiend having one maybe, but other than that, like it
Yeah,
wouldn't
bring them
suit
back,
anybody.
WWE. Prove us wrong. Have
Yeah.
Ricochet bleed. We
Put
want to see
Put
it.
Ricochet in a 3-on-1 handicap match against Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, and who else is big?
Hornswoggle.
No, well, Hornswoggle. Well, where's he gonna make him bleed from his
It'll be
ankles or
interesting.
something?
Kick him in the knee.
Exactly. Well, bust his knee open so he can't do any more flips. It's all about the long game.
We're joking. We love Ricochet, really. We just think.
Speak for yourself. Anyway, yeah, like I think a first blood match now doesn't really have a place, and unless there's some like crazy Japanese death match with like Mick Foley and Terry Funk and all sorts of explosions and stuff, I don't really think there's any notably good First Blood matches. So I think, yeah, it's one of those ones that I'm happy WWE's forgotten. Like, there's some old stipulations that people, they look back on and they're like, wow, I'd really love for them to bring back War Games, and they did. And wow, I'd really love for them to bring back, I don't know, maybe the Battle Bowl. I'm sure. I'm sure there's some other old stipulations people want bringing back, but like I
Yeah,
think First Blood's one that can stay in the past for me.
I mean, I would like to see a modern version, maybe, but
Yeah, like a one-off.
apart from that, I don't think there'll be anything that interesting.
Yeah, it's a match of its time. I would say. I think made sense in the Attitude Era when the whole thing was blood and hitting each other really hard and swearing and boobs and all that. So it sort of made sense for the
So,
First Blood match to be around in that kind of era. But then now, when the company is so sanitized, like other than like we say, like a one-off, doesn't really make any sense.
I mean, literally sanitized.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Except for Ricochet, because you know what
except
he's
for
like with
Ricochet
freaking.
because he doesn't wear his bloody mask and he hangs out with paedophiles. Talking
God.
about paedophiles, legends coming back for actual runs. You've got examples like Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler and pedophile.
Listen. I'm not going to get into this on the podcast, but he was taken to court over allegedly doing things. But again, it's alleged. I'm not going to get into details. So, Mr. Lawler, if you are listening, please don't sue me. I'm just reciting what the court case was about. But yeah, you had obviously Jerry Lawler came back. He had a couple matches in 2011. You had Mr. Perfect in 2002. Obviously came back in the Royal Rumble. Got himself a nice little run. Tanker, 2006. Same as Mr. Perfect, really. And then obviously for a more recent one, you've got Edge. Obviously Edge came back last year in the Rumble. And ever since, he's sort of just popped in and out. Bit like Lesnar, but like he's on telly a lot more. So,
Just going back to the Jerry Lawler court
oh god,
point.
you've googled it.
Did he represent himself?
I don't know. Um,
Because he could be a Jerry lawyer.
that's good. That's a good one. I like that one. I'll give you that. Much better than the wax one.
It's just the dead air. Oh my god, why do you have to do
No,
these over fucking? Oh,
that was a good one. I'll give you that. That was not terrible.
while you were talking, I just thought of it in my head. Right, anyway, back to the point.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Legends come back. Obviously, you had like Edge coming back last year. And I just want to get your opinion on it. Like just Legends. They come back. They have a little
uh,
run for a while and leave again.
well, what I could think of is like Rhino, in 2016, Rob Van Dam back in 2013.
Sounds about right.
Um,
Yeah.
oh god, Triple H, I think came back a while ago, but I just mostly think that they don't really work. Because you get obviously you get people like us who obviously know who they are, and they're just like, oh, it's insert name here. But then you get like all the kid viewers who are just like, I've never heard of this person.
All
So
the jabronis that aren't massive nerds like us.
yeah, so it's real perspective because I remember back when I first started watching wrestling, they did the thing leading up to Raw 1000 where they had a legend on every week and they'll basically just beat up Heath Slater. They had
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Toit the Clown on, like oh god, Lita, and I was just like, who the fuck are these? And then obviously once I started learning more about the company, I was just like, oh, it's Road Warrior, you know, bloody was it Hawk or Animal? I don't remember. But yeah, so I feel like it's definitely perspective on this one. But I personally think it doesn't really work for the modern audience, but for the older generations, they definitely like imagine in 20 years time, Dolph Ziggler comes out and everyone's just like,
Oh
oh,
god. If
yeah,
Dolph Ziggler comes out, everyone's just gonna go to sleep.
should be like, I'm here to show the world, and then everyone's just like,
Just go, fuck off.
you have that the initial pot was like, oh yeah, I know this guy.
Yeah. Oh, I know this guy. like that kind of a pop. Well, it's not even a pop at that point. They're like, it's no Linda McMahon pop. That's all I'll say.
Man. Yeah. So what do you think about Legends coming back? Because I think I've pretty much said my piece now.
Um, I don't mind them. I think as long as they don't overstay their welcome, they come back, they have a couple matches, they leave again. I don't mind it. I think when you get people like, for example, Goldberg obviously came back a couple of years ago, still pops in and out. I think ones like that don't work, shoving them in the limelight when really you could be using, your younger talent, or you could use them to put over younger talent. I
I
think
agree.
putting over the younger talent is much more important because you're trying to build the future of your company, not just use your past, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, those guys left and retired for a reason, and it's because they weren't able to do it at the top level anymore. So bringing them back and then having them work the top level again, like it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I
Uh,
definitely agree. It's a lot like that with like Brock Lesnar and all. It's just like they just come in and just squash people, and it's just like
Yeah,
there's no point me watching that 1 minute match.
yeah, yeah.
I was just like
I
10
think,
suplexes and 5 F5s, and like
yeah,
it, I just hate it.
I think, like I say, the best use of like a legend, like returning for an actual run, like if we use Mister Perfect for an example, Mister Perfect spent most of his return run in 2002 putting guys over. Like, he came back in the Rumble, he had a really good showing, and he just put guys over for the next however many months he was there for, which I can respect that. A guy like Mr. Perfect, he was never like a top main eventer, but he was always like one of those guys that wrestlers looked up to because he was so good as a wrestler. Even when he returned, like he wasn't terrible from what matches of it I've seen. Obviously, he was a bit slower, but he was in his 40s. He suffered like back problems and stuff, so like he was a bit slower, but he still was like putting on good matches, and he was putting over the young guys. Pretty sure he put over Shane Helms at one point. Like that's how he's just there to put over the young guys. But returns like that, and then Tatanka, Tatanka was more of like a jokey one. Like he came back in the Royal Rumble, everyone was like, "Yo, it's Tatanka," and then he stuck around for a couple more months, and then everyone was like, "Oh, it's Tatanka." Like
Oh. Did he return in like the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royale a few years ago?
I think
I
he
remember
probably
seeing
did.
him.
I think he did. I vaguely remember seeing him just standing in the ring. He's like
Yeah.
55. He's got his gut hanging out. Not put his face paint on properly. Absolute fucking
It
stinker.
was the same year where Zack Ryder won the IC title in the ladder match.
32. That would WrestleMania 32. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one.
yeah. Obviously, we've talked about Zack Ryder in episode 1 of the podcast. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it now.
God,
Or
it was
listen to it
long.
after this episode. Listen to the whole of this episode, and then go back and listen to episode 1. And if you've already listened to it, listen to it again because you
Or
might.
watch him in a random order. That would be
Yeah,
fun,
yeah,
wouldn't
no,
it?
you just watch any of them, but watch the whole thing. Um, you know,
Get all the mid rolls in.
exactly. You might miss something, so you just got to make sure by watching it again the whole way through, so you don't miss anything.
But we'll have to put in like a secret code.
Yeah, put in like a gift card code. Do a free gift card giveaway.
$19 Fortnite card. Who wants it?
Yeah, but yeah, back to the legends. Yeah, I think letting them come back for runs where they put people over is perfectly fine, and even having them come back and be like a manager rather than wrestling, I think that actually works better usually. Because if you bring in like an established old guy, stick them as the manager of some new up and comer, then that's like giving the up and comer like the approval of the old guy, and I think that
Yeah,
usually works
start
quite
passing
well.
on the torch. It's
Yeah, yeah. Like, um, it's gonna. He's not really a young guy, but if we use what was his name? The fellow who he was Ty Dillinger, and he's moved to AEW, and I can't remember his name.
um, wouldn't ask me, but
Yeah, whatever his name is, he got Tully Blanchard as his manager, and everyone when he got Tully Blanchard was like, "Oh shit, he's gonna be like a big guy in the company because he's got a legend of the business like Tully Blanchard backing him up." That didn't happen. He got he got like one big match against Cody, and he's just stuck in the mid card forever now. And also, he's lost Tully Blanchard, so you know, swings and roundabouts, I suppose.
fair enough.
But
But
yeah, like
yeah,
I think Legends coming back, putting people over, it's good. I like it.
yeah, I'm
Works.
pretty positive about it.
It works usually. Hopefully,
It just works.
it just works. Uh, Talking about working. Topic 3: jobbers getting shock wins. How does that link to working? Because they work their socks off and lose every time.
Well, depends. Depends on the jobber, I suppose.
Well, actually, I say that this whole point is about jobbers not losing every week, and they get a shock win instead. So yeah,
Uh,
what do you think about it, Joe?
well, if we go back to I think the first podcast when we talk about roll-up victories, you remember how I was pretty negative, um,
Yes,
or DQ wins, of course. And I feel like DQ and roll-up wins is mostly how jobbers get the shock wins. So
that's true.
I don't like them due to that. That's the only reason. But I mean, if it's done with like even if it's done with like a big guy coming in, like like Bobby Lashley coming in beating up
The
Umaga,
big
so
guy, you say?
Santino. So like I even hate that because it's just like if the jobber does the finisher, gets it 1, 2, 3 pinfall, fair or a submission,
It
fair,
just
I like
yeah.
it.
Well, the thing is, my point is it's sort of different to that. It's more if the jobber gets the win clean, all that does is it makes the other person look bad because they're still a jobber. It doesn't make them look any better. It just makes the other person look way worse.
But I feel like that's sort of the point of jobbers getting shock wins though, because I feel
Well,
like most of the shock win is the reaction afterwards. They're freaking out. They're doing like the hand jives, don't they? They're just like, oh,
yeah, they
yeah,
just stick their
mouth
hands in the
open.
air and go, "Wee!"
But when it's a stupid victory, I can't relate to it more because it's just like
because
it's
you,
like he
you you
didn't.
never you never win,
It's I'm saying
so you can't
it
relate.
could
Could be a
it
she,
could be.
you know. We don't
I don't.
discriminate.
Well,
You're
there aren't
on,
many
you're on the
female
left.
jobbers though, to be fair, that I can think of. So,
Dana Brooke,
but
the Riot Squad.
you were quick with that one.
Hey, I know my jobbers. I know my jobbers.
You had that one on the mind. But no, well, I feel like they're ones that are mainly done right. But I feel like when male jobbers, like it's always like you lose a bit of respect for them when like Kane has to come in and like choke some, I don't know,
Kane
Brock Lesnar, for example, just so
to get the
Santino
DQ.
Marella can
Yeah,
get a win.
yeah.
I
I
feel like
think that's
it takes
probably
away from
more.
it. It adds nothing to the spotlight,
Well, I
and
think what it does is it makes it appear. I'm just sort of playing devil's advocate here because I'll be honest with you, I don't really like jobbers getting shock wins that much. But if they had somebody come and interfere in the match and then they get like a surprise roll up win or something, I think it works to make the opponent look stronger because it means like that move can sort of put them away. Like, if we use your Kane and Brock Lesnar example, if Kane comes in, choke slams Brock Lesnar, and then Brock Lesnar gets pinned by somebody like right after Kane's choke slammed him, that proves that that choke slam can put them away.
I suppose you have a point there, but it depends because I mean, if it's done for really good storytelling,
Yeah, I was
then I
gonna say
suppose. But why make them lose to a jobber if you're just going to do the choke someone anyway? Why don't you have them
I was gonna say
destroying just another like mid carder, for example?
the ideal booking is have both of them looking strong going into the pay per view, rather than having one person look stupid for losing to a jobber and then make the other one look strong for causing them to lose. I think the ideal booking for a match, like if again go back to your example, Kane and Lesnar, would be they're two big fellas, aren't they? So just have them beat the shit out of people for a week, and then they both go into the match having beaten up a load of people, rather than someone makes the other one look stupid.
I feel like it's better when like somebody interrupts the match and then jobber pins them, and then like the next week they do it back. I kind of like that. Like if it's like
Yeah,
two heels in a match,
I think
that works.
that one works because like it makes them look more equal there. Obviously, they both come out of it looking a little stupid, but you know, at least they're on equal playing field rather than one looks stupid, the other looks smart.
Yeah, I I, I agree to that. Yeah. But well, I think that's pretty much all we can really say about. I think we both hate them equally,
I
but
wouldn't say I hate them per se. I think they have a place, sort of like a DQ finish. I think they have a place, but I just don't like them very much. I think the jobber's role is to let the other person get a win, right? And then
yeah,
letting the jobber get the win, all it serves to do is make the other person look weaker because they've just lost to the person whose entire job is to lose.
I mean it depends really, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I could see how it could be done
I think it also
correctly.
sort of depends on like who the jobber is. Like if we went for like a male example, if you lost to Kurt Hawkins and like broke his massive 200 something match losing streak, then that will like fuck that will you lose clean as well. That would ruin you. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but if it was, I mean, they're not strictly a jobber, but they're a jobber in my eyes. If it was Ricochet, um, you lost like he rolled you up or something. You still look stupid because obviously you just lost to a man who doesn't wear a mask. But um,
You got COVID
it's
on your face.
exactly he's his new finisher is giving you COVID, but you won't look as stupid as if you lost clean to Kurt Hawkins. I feel.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you could argue you look more
uh,
stupid because it's Ricochet, but yeah, it's because he looks
I
stupid. He
mean,
looks
there's a bit of
stupid, so you
give and
look
give and
stupid.
there's a bit of give and take with it.
Yeah,
but
a little bit.
I agree with it. I mean, it's very iffy. I would
Yeah, you need a bit of finesse with your booking.
exactly bit of finesse.
Exactly. So, topic number 4. Ooh, what is it, Joe?
Oh, you want me to? Okay. It's losing in your hometown slash country for heat. So,
For those who don't know what heat is when the crowd are like, they boo. You get heat for it.
it's also a film about.
It is also a film, not about wrestling.
Is it about people robbing banks?
I'll be honest, I haven't seen it. I just know it's a film.
Oh God, I remember my dad talked about it. Well, right. This is not
Yeah,
the
this isn't.
this is not the hap. Okay, this is not that. This is not the Heat Answers podcast.
this, that's another good one, Joe. You're on fire today.
I want it today. I want it.
Yeah, you're on fire like heat.
Uh, yeah, it is about robberies. Okay,
So,
I'll just
back
move
to what
with
we
it.
were saying. Losing in hometown slash country for heat. So, for example, Sheamus losing in Ireland, Drew McIntyre losing in Scotland, British Bulldog losing in England, uh, Rey Mysterio losing in Mexico, something like that.
You can't think of a Welsh wrestler, could you?
Tyler Rex.
Oh my God, not thought about him.
Yeah, you think I don't know my Welsh wrestlers?
Right. So, am I going first for this,
Mason
or
Ryan. There's another one.
he's not Welsh, is he?
Mason Ryan. He's Welsh, I think. There's
I thought
another
he
one
was
that was Welsh, who he wrestled for TNA, and for the life of me, I can't remember his name. Mason Ryan, Stevie Ray, Earthquake, Alundra, Blaze, Zach Gowan, Bam Bam. Yeah, there you go. Mason Ryan is Welsh. He's from Cardiff. Fair enough. Back to what we were
I'm
saying.
shocked.
What was that? Sorry, I just tried remembering who the Welsh wrestler was for TNA, and I completely blanked. Back to what we were just listing Welsh wrestlers. Tegan Knox, she's a Welsh wrestler. Back to what we were saying, losing in your hometown
Yeah.
slash country for heat. I think it's okay.
It depends on who it is. If it's a heel, then it's not
Well,
really that good. But if it's a face,
yeah,
then
if it's a
oh,
heel, like usually when they go to their hometown slash country, like if we use Buddy Murphy when they did the Australia pay-per-view thing, he was a face because he's like the only Australian there, other than the Iconics, who were also all three of them were heels on regular TV, but then they all go to Australia and then they're faces because they're from Australia, and they all won their matches.
I've got a good story for this, but I'll let you finish your point first.
Yeah. Usually when a heel goes to their hometown or city or whatever, they're usually faces unless like they make an effort to like insult like the place they're from. Like I'm sure I remember when CM Punk was a heel, like he made fun of Chicago once or twice, or I vaguely remember who was it? I think it might have been Seth Rollins when he went back to, I think it's Iowa he's from. Like when he went back there, I think he just healed out on them as well. So like sometimes your heel would stay a heel when they go back and they'll like insult it and stuff, but usually a heel would play the face on that night because like they're from there. Oh, Bad News Barrett's another one. I remember it's a long time ago now. There was an episode of Raw
Don't
where
take away my story. Don't
oh
take away my
oh
story.
no
I was in the
oh
crowd. I was in the crowd. Right, I'm doing I'm doing the story now. That was that was Oh God, it was Raw 2012 November time. It
I'm
was
thinking of
in
a later
Britain.
one. I'm thinking of a
Oh
later one.
well,
Yeah.
I was there anyway. Oh my God, we popped for Wade Barrett, and at the end he came out and he this is after the show, and he was just like, he was just like,
I
I
fucking
want to
hate
thank you
Wade.
all for coming along, and we all fucking cheered for him. And then I picked up an issue of the old wrestling magazine, and they
The
did an
Wrestling
interview with him,
Observer.
and he was and in the interview he mentioned that exact episode.
Gotcha.
So yeah, but no, sorry to interrupt, but yeah, that was exactly my story. So I'm glad that
Right.
we
Yeah.
we
My
got there
my
naturally.
my one was also, as I said, Wade Barrett. It's actually just like there was an episode of Raw a couple of years ago where he pretty much made himself a heel by, I think, Wayne Rooney, famed England striker.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
you know
yeah.
the one I'm on
I
about.
know the one you're on
He
about.
was in the
Yeah,
crowd, and Wade Barrett, I think he's like a Charlton fan, or I don't know, an Arsenal fan. He's from like London area, so he's a fan of whoever. Uh, I can't remember who he supports, to be honest. I just remember the storyline was his team lost to Man United, and obviously Wayne Rooney, famous for being Man United's all-time leading goal scorer, England's all-time leading goal scorer. You know, he's a big famous football player here in the UK and probably abroad as well.
I gotta say
Um,
sucker for American.
Soccer for our well, he did go and play in the US for a couple of years, so you know
It's not accurate.
they'll know Rooney as well. But
Everyone knows Rooney.
everyone, well, obviously in our bubble, everyone knows Rooney because like we all grew up with him playing. But back to what I was saying. Sorry. There was a segment on Raw where Barrett comes out. He's having a match, and Rooney is ringside, or he's like in the crowd at ringside. Sorry, and like Barrett's going up to him and he's mouthing off at him, and then like I guess that made him the heel because even in England like he's a heel and he's mouthing off about Man United beating his team, right? And then I think he goes up to Rooney and he's like taunting him, and then he just fucking lamps him in the face.
Oh my God!
Here, hang on.
Every
Yeah, there you
time.
go. Wayne Rooney slaps King Barrett back in like 2015. This was. Yes, okay, so Wade Barrett's a
Oh,
Preston North End fan, and apparently Rooney dived in the match to win a penalty in the FA Cup game. Right.
God. We need to do a segment in a few weeks for celebrities fucking
Yeah, just
beating up.
celebrities coming in, and just being weirdos on Raw. I just remember that segment so vividly because I remember I watched it at the time and I was like, "Eh, Wayne Rooney, what's he doing on Raw?"
I remember. Oh God, wasn't it like James Corden's parents were in the crowd once, and like Sheamus started like picking a fight with him.
Because James Gordon's fat. Was that it?
I don't know.
This fat son of a bitch.
Well, all the fans of Broadway hate James Corden because
I think
he's
most
always
people hate James Corden because
he's
he's
always
not
in musicals.
funny. He's not funny. He can't sing.
I don't know. He's all right. I liked him.
No, he's
I,
not.
I like
Oh, Joe.
I, I liked him as Barry in the Prom. That was
He listen, right? He's good in Gavin and Stacey because he's not
good.
writing for
Yeah.
himself. He's good in Doctor Who because he's not writing for himself. He's
No, he
terrible
wrote
in
Gavin
most
and
other
Stacey.
things. He wasn't the head writer. It was he was one of the
It
writers. I'm
was
sure he probably had some input.
Ruth Jones and James Corden.
Yeah, I'm sure there was also other people like the actual like producers and stuff would have stepped in. So
Yeah,
like
probably so.
he's not writing exclusively for himself. He's writing everyone else's lines as well. But I feel like because there's somebody else writing with him, that's probably why it's so good. And then obviously in Doctor Who, like I actually quite liked his cameos in Doctor Who. I thought he was all right. But that's again because
I know the
he didn't
story with
write.
Doctor Who.
He didn't write fully for himself. Then now he's got his late night show, He's
God,
in
dreadful, isn't
all
it?
sorts now. His late night show is the fucking pit. It's dreadful. There hasn't. I will stand by this claim, right? I'm gonna. I will say there hasn't been a single good late night show since. Oh God.
It's a little late with Lily Singh or whatever it's called.
Oh no, thanks. I think Norm Macdonald used to have one. Norm Macdonald was the last good late night show I can remember off the top of my head. Because Jimmy Fallon is crap. Who's the other one? The other Jimmy.
Jimmy
Jimmy
Kimmel.
Kimmel is worse.
No, he's not worse than Jimmy
Seth
Fallon. He's a
Meyers
little
is
better.
no, Jimmy Kimmel's worse than Fallon. Like
No, no, no,
Jimmy
no.
Kimmel's a hypocrite. Jimmy Kimmel's a hypocrite. Like Fallon at least has he can write jokes that don't completely revolve around the politics of the United States. Jimmy Kimmel
That's true.
will harp on Donald Trump. Donald Trump's not in office, and I'm sure he's probably still making jokes about him. Like Biden's been in office for 2 months, coming up on 3 months now, and I'm sure he hasn't made a single joke on Biden, but he's made all these jokes on Trump because Trump, he's overweight, oh he's got
True.
funny hair, oh he's bright orange. I'm not seeing the same energy for Joe Biden. You know,
This is the tap the Trump answers podcast.
it's the PAP, mate, Political Answers podcast.
the late late show with James Corden answers podcast.
Oh god, what would be the initials of that? It would be
The LLSW
app.
JCAP.
Jesus Christ, we're not calling it
Put it
that.
simply, the cap.
The shat. Yeah, like what I'm saying though, there hasn't been a single good late night show host for so long, yet they still get ratings. Like people still watch them, and I don't get it. Like I've tried. I've been to the US, right? I've been to the US, and like I've been watching telly late at night, and I'll be like, you know what? I'll put on one of these late night shows because constantly get clips for them on YouTube in my recommended and in the trending tab, right? So
Oh, they're
surely
always
they must be
trending.
funny. They must be funny, right? I probably watched about 15 full episodes of like Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, all them kind of things. Not once have I found a single one of them like funny for the whole show. And obviously, it's not always going to be funny, and like you're going to have your interview segments that are more serious. But even the funny part, even the parts that are made to be funny, aren't funny.
I'm just looking for. I'm looking on trending now. I can't find one. Surprising.
It's probably because they're all
Maybe
fucking cancelled because of COVID. I
I'm going.
remember they cancelled a load of them last year. The only ones that didn't cancel were Kimmel, Fallon, John Oliver. John Oliver, I actually don't mind, right? 'Cause John Oliver does actual news reporting, and he actually brings to light some serious stuff. So, like, fair play to John Oliver. Don't agree with his politics, but that's neither here nor there. Like, he's actually funny. Like, he's all right. Everything
James
else,
Corden's still going.
everything else on late night television is just it's the drizzling shit. So I can't get on board with any of it. But we're
But
not
no,
even talking about that. We're supposed to be talking about losing in your hometown / country for heat.
back to the point
Yeah, back
of
to the
the.
point. There's one of our world famous WAP rambles.
I'll just do a quick overview of what I think. I like it when faces
Lose.
lose. Yeah, in their hometown because it builds up heat for the heels.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't really like it when heels lose. But when heels get slapped by Wayne Rooney or
Yeah.
I don't know Stephen Amell or
Yeah. I actually didn't
Fozzie
mind the
Bear.
Stephen Amell stuff. Yeah. When they had the Muppets on. Oh, what an
We
episode!
mention that every week.
I think we probably have. We mentioned like Seamus talking to Beaker from the Muppets at least a couple times now.
Waka waka.
That's the wrong. That's the wrong Muppet, Joe. Ah.
No, I said Fuzzy Bear before,
Yeah,
so I had
I
Fuzzy
said
Bear in my
Beaker.
mind.
I said Beaker.
Yeah, but Beaker's shit. Beaker's shit. Beaker's one of the worst ones. He's just like, oh, shut up, you ginger twat. I don't
Wow,
like
you're gonna call out
it.
Seamus's family like that? Wow.
This is the Bat. This is the Beaker hate answers podcast. Oh
Bad.
shit, no, that's Bat.
This is a. Oh, you just made me think of that old video. It's like, John, you're on a roll. Am I? Oh.
Bat. We just got to do an episode of just fucking puns.
Jim, you're on a roll. Am I?
I've got actual tears in my eyes.
I can hate that video.
Oh my. Right, should we move on? Is that everything we want to say?
Yes, I think it might be. I'll just quickly summarize my point as well. Yeah, I think it can work. I don't mind it. Same as you, really. I like it when your face loses because it's funny, and also it works to get the heel some heat. Don't really care about when a heel. I think there should be more consistency with when heels are heels and faces, though. Like, I think it's. I don't know why a heel would just start acting nice because they're back in their home country or hometown or whatever.
That's
Just a
true.
little weird.
That goes back to my Wade Barrett point. I think he was a heel at the time.
He was a heel when
Well, I
he got
don't remember a
slapped in the
time
face by
when
Wayne
he was
Rooney.
face. To be honest,
I think he's a face
he,
now. To be fair, he's a face now on like NXT commentary.
well, yeah, but still.
He's good at commentary, you know. I remember
I
I was
didn't even
watching.
know he was on commentary. We'll have to,
Yeah. He came back like last year to do NXT UK commentary, and then they called him straight up to regular commentary
he
because
used to be my favorite
nobody
wrestler. You know?
like I said, like I think I said it last week. Nobody's watching NXT UK. Nobody's
Yeah.
been watching NXT UK. I'm genuinely shocked that show still is going because God, nobody watches it. It's like I guess it's probably the same reason they kept superstars around. It just gets people matches.
Well, they used to like play superstars for free, like on a weekend. So
Yeah, that's true. NXT UK, they make you pay for that. They make you pay to watch an hour of crap.
sure.
Uh, anyway, losing in your hometown is good if you're a face, and I don't care if you're a heel. Moving on.
That was a very weird tangent. Well, let's move on.
Yeah. Moving on. Topic numero cinq. The Freebird rule. So this is, for those who don't know, when a tag team of more than two people, so like if there's like three or four of them in the group, they can all defend the titles. So like the Freebirds, obviously, because it's called the Freebird rule. 'Cause I think they were the ones who originated it, even. But also, your team like the New Day, or think there's probably more examples of the Freebird rule in use. I can't really think of them off the top of my head. But yeah, like teams like them. Uh, what do you think about the Freebird rule, Joe?
Um. Well, I don't. I can't really say I I like it, but I can't say I dislike it. I mean, it depends how they play it because I remember like the Elimination Chamber a few years ago. They did a tag team one, and they had
Yeah.
all three members of the New Day in for the tag belt, and I was just like, Well,
Yeah, that just
shouldn't
creates like
they?
an unfair advantage.
Shouldn't they all win the titles? Or yeah, I don't really. I don't.
I think
They
in
weren't
situations like that, it's a
champs
little
at the time. I'm
different.
not sure.
In situations like that, it's a little different. But I mean, just like in a regular tag team title match, 2v2, the freebird rule allows any of the, in New Day's case, three members to defend. So, like, you could have Big E and Xavier defend it one night, and then Xavier and Kofi defend it the next.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard because it's like
It's
depending
not a
on
very
who.
common thing.
I don't really like it because depending on who you're facing, they do like different matchups because they can just have the stronger of the group go up against whoever they're facing, or
Yeah,
they
no,
can have.
I think I sort of disagree with you a little bit there because I actually think that's all right. I think that works quite well. Like it gives a strategic element to their team. So if they're going up against bigger guys, in the New Day's case, they would use Big E because he can match up with those guys. If they were going up against smaller, quicker guys, they would do Xavier and Kofi because they're the smaller, quicker guys. Like,
I mean, it makes sense. I just don't like how it could be done or how it could be used personally. But I mean, I don't really know.
yeah, like I don't mind it. Like, I think I did say, uh, just like obviously with the strategic element of the freebird rule in play, I think it can lead to more interesting matchups. But there's like a strategic element to it, and I
Yeah, that's true.
think that works well for like ring psychology and stuff. And then obviously you can have your third member like come down to the ring with you. I don't know. I just think it's quite neat. It's not really afforded to many teams because obviously most teams are it's two people. But then, like, even then, in like a faction, for example, usually you just have the two people that would defend the belts. So, like, if you had a faction of, I think if we use like the Hurt Business, for example, obviously on Raw, the Hurt Business is Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander, but just Shelton and Alexander defend the titles because I don't think the Freebird rule applies there, even though I think it technically could. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, I like the scarcity of it because I like how not like there's not every
Oh yeah, not like every
Tom,
team.
Dick, and Harry doing it, but
Yeah,
I mean, Tom and Dick would defend it one week, and Harry would do
and then Harry
Harry
and
and
Dick the
Dick.
other, and then Harry and Tom the next. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I guess that works pretty well. But I just like how it's not done that much, but I also don't like the concept of it personally. I just feel like
I think it does. It does feel a little cheaty. I will say.
it's
I think
cheaty, it's
it's
confusing,
yeah.
and
I think that's why um, it worked for the Freebirds, and like it's called the Freebird rules because obviously they brought it in. It worked for the Freebirds because the Freebirds were heels, so like their whole shtick was you never know which ones of us you're gonna be facing, so it's harder for them to prepare. And then like they could just say during the match. I think they've done this before. Like they just say during the match they just change who's wrestling. So they just like more than just like tag out. They double tag out, I guess.
it's like how the Bella twins would do their whole like switcheroo thing,
Yeah. It wouldn't work
and it
these
was
days.
like, well, would it not? Well,
Well,
fairly,
I mean,
they
I
do
was
look
going to
pretty
say
different now.
because Nikki had I'm going to call them comedy tits put in, which is a turn of phrase I've stolen, but she had big fucking inflatables put in her chest, and Brie didn't, so it's a little harder to say they
Comedy
look the
tit.
same now.
But no, it's yeah, it's a bit like that with the you could just switch out mid match.
Yeah, I think it works more for heels than it does for faces, which is why, like,
Oh, definitely.
I mean, obviously the New Day they actually started as heels, or like they started to get like notoriety as heels anyway. Like it worked for them then. I think if they did it now when they're faces, I don't know. I think it's all right that like Kofi and Xavier, just the two of them, are just kind of plowing ahead by themselves now. I think that works as a tag team. Whereas I
Yeah, they've been
think still,
split.
yeah, yeah, but like I feel like if they still did the old Freebird rule, it wouldn't really work as well.
Uh, I think that's all we can really say about it.
Yeah,
Right, I guess we'll
just
move on.
move
You can
on.
introduce this one.
Yeah, so this is number eight, not number eight. Sorry, it's number six on our topic list.
We're done.
Uh,
That's number
yeah,
8, guys.
we're finishing nice and early. No, we're doing power rankings. So I couldn't. I was gonna in because obviously we've got like a list of notes for what we're gonna do because we plan it all ahead. I didn't really describe it in the notes because it's one of those ones where it's harder to describe in writing than it is in words. So
Yeah.
power rankings are pretty much you've got like a list, and at the top is the people who have like the most wins and the most like important like wins, I guess. And then like obviously like further down you get the less wins that or like I guess less matches had and stuff. And like the idea of the power rankings is to give an accurate representation of who should be like next in line for the title. So on your power rankings, obviously you have your champions at the top, and then like going down, you have in order really the list of people with the most like wins or the highest win percentage in a certain time period and stuff. And I think actually WWE would do very well to introduce something like this because we've seen it introduced with AEW, and obviously we don't watch AEW, but I think that's a really neat idea. Like having like a list, it's like a league table almost of all the wrestlers. Like it keeps track of all their wins. I just think it works quite well, and I think WWE. I think technically they used to have like a power ranking system. It wasn't like an official thing, but it was like on
Yeah,
WWE
I
on
think.
WWE.com they used to have a thing that would rank like who's had the
Yeah, I
best
remember.
week or something. But I don't know. I think like it makes it feel more like sports, like
Oh, yeah, I was
having
gonna
like a
say
league
that.
table, which is why I think it works for AEW because their whole thing was they were trying to focus on it being more sports oriented than like flashy all sorts. Which obviously it hasn't really panned out that way because the absolute state of AEW at the minute with the fucking barbed wire exploding barbed wire death match finish. Good lord. Have you seen that clip by the way? It's
No, no, I'll have to look it up.
it's the finish to it's like their big pay-per-view blow off match between uh John Moxley or Dean Ambrose and Eddie Kingston. It's like their title match, the end of their title match. It's an exploding barbed wire death match, right? So it's supposed to all blow up, and there'll be like a big, the ring will collapse, and they could possibly die because of all the explosives, right? Um,
Looking at images now.
yeah, that isn't what happened. You might be able to see from the images. All that happened was a couple spooters shot off some smoke. Um, what looked like the same machines they used to shoot the sparks for Goldberg's entrance went off on the ring posts. Um, and that was it, really, from memory. It was I I don't know what it was. It was awful, is what it was.
Oh, I see an article. Let's try to
Yeah.
make sense of that awful, hilarious AEW Pyro screw up.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
think the
under all.
excuse they made was they didn't have the budget for it, which that's really funny to me. You know, you put all your budget towards the entrances and not towards the finish to your pay per view, which is one of the biggest ones you do in the year. Yeah, okay, okay, AEW, I get it. Whatever. I don't watch
That's
it anyway,
that.
so it doesn't affect me. Like I don't watch the show anyway. Just giving me less reason to watch it, I suppose. But
I tell you what, the poster for this event looks like a bloody like Marvel film.
yeah, I was gonna say like the AEW posters, they all look the same to me, to be honest. Like they all just look like crappy fucking Marvel posters, and they always have like Cody or Kenny like bang in the center of it. All their logos look the same. Like, oh,
Oh my
silly.
god.
You know it's
AEW
bad when
Ragnarok.
TNA can make a better poster than you.
Oh my, this is literally just the fucking 4 Ragnarok posters. This one. Hang on. I'll send you it.
Yeah. But back to what we were saying, sorry, power rankings. Yeah, I think AEW do a good job with it. Like, it gives actual reason for why people get opportunities and stuff rather than just randomly go in. Right, 20-man battle royal decides who gets the next title shot. Like, this one has
Yeah.
reasoning, you know? And I can get on board with that.
I do like the power rankings. I think it solidifies wrestling as a bit more like, as you
It
said,
gives it
like the
more
sport.
legitimacy. Yeah, it makes it
It
feel more
does.
like actual sport.
I wish it was something that was done a lot more often, but I feel like with the current state of wrestling, it's
Yeah, at least with
gonna be a bit
WWE,
harder.
perhaps. I think, you know, I am obviously saying I would quite like to see it in WWE. However, I do also realize with the current, um, like the current kind of content WWE are putting out, it's probably the furthest thing from that in terms of what they would need right now to make everything seem more legitimate. Like, you know, you've got a zombie magic man and his hypnotized slave woman terrorizing a man who pretends to be a snake. Like, you see what I mean?
Yeah, and there's also a lot of favoritism in WWE. So like up top of the
Yeah,
list, you're just
exactly.
gonna see your Roman Reigns, your
So, like, even in
you know,
WWE, the power rankings probably won't mean anything because they'll just ignore power rankings. Like, I think it was SmackDown actually. I remember they tried to introduce like actual power rankings on SmackDown. Uh, Back when it first like started, really, because I remember it was like Daniel Bryan. He did like a post SmackDown video, and he was like, "Here's the current power rankings of all the SmackDown like male wrestlers," and then he did one for I think it was like top five for the women because obviously there was a lot less, and like they did it for about 4 weeks, and then they just never did it again, and everyone forgot about it. It was it was so strange because I remember they implemented it into one storyline and nothing else, and it was never mentioned ever again. It was so strange.
in the storyline. Like one of the promos would have been like, "I'm the top of the power ranking. You're only
No,
fifth."
I think that was legitimate. I think it was legitimately what it was. It was like in the US
Oh,
title scene back in like 2017,
oh, of
2018.
course.
Like Bobby Roode or something was cutting a promo, and then Randy Orton comes out and is like, "Hey, you fucking dick, give me a title shot because I'm ahead of you on the fucking rankings, right?
Oh, because I remember like in like my career mode, they would have like the like where in line you are for the belt.
Yeah, exactly. It was sort of a bit like that.
Oh God.
But like it was like Randy's like, I'm ranked third, you're ranked fourth, and you're the US champion, so give me a championship match. Like it was it was so it was so silly, so strange. And it just didn't really work because like the thing is, I think the idea of it is really good, as I've said, but because of the way WWE present their talent and they present their matches and stuff, it's just never going to work properly. Because you'll get stuff like that where Randy Orton comes out and goes, "Oh yeah, 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 give me a title shot because I'm ahead of you on the ranking." Like, it's just doesn't make for good telly, to be honest.
It
It's
doesn't
just a bit
know.
strange.
But no, I think it's definitely something weird, but I would like to see it done
Yeah,
correctly.
I think now I'm thinking about it. Actually, implementing it somewhere like NXT makes a hell of a lot more sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. Maybe even NXT UK, because that's definitely something that we do over
Oh
here
yeah, I was
as
gonna say
boys.
just use it on NXT UK because God knows they haven't got any actual storylines down there.
I mean, if it goes well, it might raise the brand.
It won't.
Um, if it doesn't go well, then no one's watching it anyway. So
Yeah, I was gonna say no one's watching it, so it doesn't matter. Like,
it's fine.
just, just
Uh,
let them do what they want to do. That's what I say.
shall we move on? Because
Yeah, why not? Let's move on
speaking of
to
NXT, good
yeah,
segue. Um, I might as well introduce it now. I'm halfway through. Uh, Next on the list is NXT moving to Tuesday nights. So obviously it doesn't compete with AW. Um, which I feel like is definitely something that's good because I feel like if WWE went with another Wednesday night war or whatever they were doing,
yeah. The
I feel
Wednesday
like they
Night
probably
War.
would have.
Yeah,
I feel like they
they
probably
wouldn't have won
wouldn't
it.
have won.
Yeah, they would have lost,
So
and they have been losing for however long it's been going on.
yeah,
So yeah, like I 100% understand why they've moved to Tuesday nights because obviously it's where SmackDown used to be. It's just there's nothing to watch on a Tuesday. Put it on a Tuesday rather than trying to compete with a show that this is obviously that's like their main show, right? On Wednesday Night Dynamite
yeah.
for AW. That's their main show. NXT is WWE's like third brand. Like they don't need to be competing. Like all they're trying to do there is take away from AEW's viewers. But now I guess moving to Wednesday, or moving from Wednesday to Tuesday, I should say, sorry, it's going to give AEW more viewers because everyone's just going to watch it on the Tuesday. So while I can see the idea behind what they've done, because it'll get them more viewers, inadvertently they're giving them more viewers.
That is true. But I feel like there's two main points that I had when I first saw that. One is maybe they have more faith in NXT, so they want to, bring in more viewers and hopefully, right after Mondays as well, you still got the
Yeah, you still got like
Monday
the
Night Raw
still got the
buzz,
buzz Monday
like
Night Raw.
maybe even after a pay per view as well, you'll still have like a bit of a buzz. And
Yeah.
because they do NXT pay per views on a Saturday night, right?
Yes. Yeah. So they do that on the
So
Saturday, and then main
I
pay per
feel
view on the
like having it
Sunday.
on Tuesday is a bit closer to that as well.
Hmm.
Because having to wait all the way to Wednesday is a bit,
Bit long in it.
you know, you'll lose interest by the time it's like
Mate,
they reveal.
I'll
Oh,
lose interest by the next by literally the next night. Like, just move on to the next pay per view.
well, and the second reason, of course, is I feel like they may have a bit of respect for Cody as well, just because, of course,
Uh, mm, Yeah, you say that. Something tells me they
Well,
don't have a huge amount of respect.
well, they have a respect for the Rhodes.
Yeah, they have respect for the Rhodes family and legacy, but I don't know. They see it as competition that they want to try and
Well, of
get rid
course,
of.
because they're competing, but
Yeah,
they also like I still think they're doing like the Dusty Rhodes Classic, aren't they? But
yeah, they still do Dusty Rhodes Classic. Yeah,
I feel like they do have a bit of respect for the Rhodes family because obviously they've been in WWE for years now.
yeah.
They're just like, let's give them a bit of publicity. They're doing well for themselves. Well,
I think
depends on who you ask, but
WWE. I think their biggest problem is they don't want to work with anybody else. They want to just work with themselves and do it all internally. AEW are what WWE should be, which is open to working with other people. Because what I think they should do is WWE need to try and create connections with all these other like brands. Because obviously WWE they work with a couple like indie companies like ICW, Evolve, um, WXW in Germany as well. Like they've worked with these brands and other like companies and stuff, but obviously none of them are big companies. Like they're open to working with the small fish, but then when all the bigger fish are now working together to create something that's about on the same level or like an equivalent, now they don't want to work with them.
I feel like because WWE have been in the top spot for so, well, I mean, just decades. I mean,
Yeah,
they've been in the
like
top spot for so long. They just want to keep that, but they're losing stars real quick. And where are them stars going? AEW. They lost Big Show,
yeah.
Christian, like even like
But
Renee
I
Young.
was gonna say
Like
like,
they're
well,
losing
Renee.
so
Well,
many
to be
people
fair,
so quickly.
Renee hasn't actually gone to AEW. She's
Yeah,
just
but she
sort of
still
sitting
left
at home at the
WWE, and that's
minute.
probably because of
Yeah,
John.
I
Um,
think there was a mix of that
but
and like they just weren't offering her the money that she wanted or needed really.
she'll probably be moving to AEW pretty soon.
I think yeah, as soon as she's had her baby, she'll have her maternity leave and then probably rock up as an interviewer in AEW. I could see that happening.
And that'd be good. But
Yeah, I think Renee, despite her commentary being piss poor, isn't terrible at her job. Like I think as a backstage interviewer, she was really good. As like a host for like the network shows, she was really good as well. Because
are
she's
we
got
going
a
to
lot of
talk about it?
charisma.
Talking smack.
Oh yeah, talking smack. Obviously,
every week
every
we talk
week
about
we
that
have to
promo.
mention. Don't you walk away from me, Daniel. God,
It's
what a
just
promo!
brilliant.
What a
But
promo!
no.
But
Um,
yeah, like I feel like WWE there's a lot of similarities now with the current like WWE and the WWE of 1995 when they just collapsed. Like a lot of their big talents leaving, going to their competition. Same as what happened in 95, 96, because obviously Hogan went to WCW, Nash and Hall went to WCW, Bulldog went to WCW, Bret Hart went to WCW. Like, WWE, obviously they haven't lost talent as big, like, in the industry as those guys, but, they're still losing, like, guys who could be the future of the company, like Andrade. Andrade got his release a couple days ago. They lost Moxley, and he's gone on to be the biggest star in AEW. He's won titles in New Japan as well. Like it, it very much reminds me of how careless they were in the mid 90s, but with just letting people go. But the difference between then and now is I can't see WWE coming out of this like period as well off as they did last time because the public zeitgeist isn't, it hasn't turned towards wrestling like it did in the 90s where, you had your Stone Colds. There's nobody in the business who is as big as Stone Cold right now. I don't think there's anybody who could be as big as Stone Cold right now,
Oh,
because
yeah.
he was like a different breed above everyone else. Like he's literally the money wise biggest wrestler in the history of the industry. And I can't see WWE having somebody of his magnitude to be able to drag the company pretty much single handedly out of the shit heap that it was in at the time. Because obviously it wasn't just Austin. It was Austin. It was The Rock. It was later on Triple H. It was Michaels. Like at like the start of it, you know, WWE doesn't have anyone on the same level as those guys. Like
No.
their biggest talents at the minute are Reigns, who I guess you would. To be fair, Reigns as a heel is like superb, right? Like Reigns at the minute has been really, really, really good. But
Yeah.
I still wouldn't put
See if they
Reigns
make him a
anywhere near.
face.
Yeah, like the difference between if we use like Reigns and The Rock, because obviously The Rock got massive off of being a superb heel, right? But he managed to transition it to being a very good face. We've seen with Reigns, he's not a good face. Like he's not good at playing the face character. So like he can't be this guy that everyone wants to cheer for because his whole thing is just I'm just this big angry, mean, hard man who doesn't say much, but when I do, you'll fucking listen. Like the difference between him and The Rock in terms of character is night and day. Like The Rock's whole character as a heel was like he was this smarmy, shit chatting guy who could actually back it up. But
I remember watching a sorry to cut you off, but I remember watching a video back ages ago, and it's by one of my favorite YouTubers of all time, Fat Fiend with Cole Smallwood. Go check him out.
oh, I
But
know that. Yeah, Fight Fiend.
yeah, yeah, and he he was talking about how Roman Reigns would just get booed all the time. Like
Yeah,
even after doing like a promo with like a Make a Wish kid, he was still getting booed.
yeah.
And yeah, I just feel like I
He's.
feel like it
I
just
don't think.
solidifies him as a face.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like even though he's been such a great heel, I feel like Reigns is never going to be able to fully get over.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
he's he is the biggest star the company has at the moment. Like I think it's very hard to argue anyone else is as big as him.
I know
And
ways they could get people as big as him.
I
Like just
think that yeah,
give good runs, good title runs to Cesaro, your Daniel Bryans, to your Shinsuke Nakamura's, to your Sami Zayn's. You know, just give them title runs.
yeah.
Like they have so
Well,
much
the thing
potential,
is, like,
and they're just not doing anything.
going back to Naka, we talked about him last week, obviously,
Yeah,
and we said he, you know, he's been given this title run. It just didn't work out. For whatever reason, I think it was a mix of poor booking and him at that point just he's doing it for a paycheck. I think obviously your Cesaro and Sami Zayn. I think the boat's probably sailed on the two of them, really. Cesaro, I think there's still a chance because they are actually building Cesaro up to be like a pretty big guy now on SmackDown. But with
everyone
Sami
wants
Zayn,
Cesaro to succeed,
yeah, I
and
think
they're
that
just
is
not doing
literally it
it.
with Cesaro. Like everyone has wanted him to succeed for so long, and they're slowly getting there. But like they're pretty much turning that into uh, his character. Like he's slowly getting to the top of the mountain, you know. But with Sami Zayn, I think the boat's sailed at this point. I think he's had his chance. Now he's just like some comedy jobber heel. Like
Maybe.
I think it's too late for him. But if we go back to like the example of like the Attitude Era, and like you know, obviously WWE got out of their like big route of just constantly hemorrhaging money. You know, they're getting the lowest ratings they've ever seen in history back then. I don't think WWE has anyone, or I don't even think in the general wrestling business there is anyone who could be as big as Austin or as big as The Rock.
No, I just don't think there's the viewer base for it where it's like, 'cause we live in an era now where you don't have to watch every week to be caught up. Like, because
Yeah, I
back in the
think that's
day,
that's another
there was
thing. Yeah,
less internet. You had to be there.
yeah, you
Else,
had to be there. Like you couldn't just miss out and then watch the YouTube clips afterwards, like you can now with WWE. You would,
I mean,
you'd
we
see
literally just
Austin be like, next
Googled the
week I'm gonna,
Fastlane results,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
that's it.
Like back in
But
the Attitude Era, Austin would say one week, next week I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna kick Vince McMahon's ass and all this, and you'd be like, right, well, I better tune in next week then. Now, you know, if they did the exact same thing, you'd be like, oh yeah, I'll just watch the YouTube highlights of it. Like,
exactly, it's just
I think
that's just it,
W,
really.
I think WWE, they're going down the same path they did in the 90s, where everyone's leaving to go watch the competition. They're not making. To be fair, I say they're not making money. WWE are still making like so much money. Like it's
Yeah,
ridiculous. I think genuinely, right? Last year they made more profit last year than they ever have in their history. Like they made more last year than they did in the Attitude Era. But that's because they haven't had to spend all that money, building like all these different sets and renting out stadiums and touring across the world and stuff. Because they just run it from like the same place. They don't have to dismantle any of the sets and stuff. Like, it's all the same really. And because of that, because they're not having to go to all these different places, they're not having to rent all these stadiums for a night and stuff. They're just posting like huge, huge profits, which
so I had
you
to leave and join there,
oh
so hopefully that hasn't messed it all up. But should be
shouldn't
alright.
have. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, WWE are technically having one of their best financial years of all time, but in terms of quality of the product, it's been dog shit. Like,
Yeah,
never once before in my life have I wanted to watch wrestling so little as I have now. Like, I don't think it's a WWE thing really anymore. Like, I think it's just a wrestling thing in general because there's no indie wrestling going on because they just can't. Like, there's no indie wrestling going on to make people say, "Oh, well, I guess we watch these guys to see like maybe they'll sign for this company or this company." They're not wrestling, so we're stuck with what we've already got. The actual quality of the product they're putting out is shockingly low. But the reason it's so low and that they're not really doing anything to fix it is because A, they don't have to rely on ticket sales because they get, all these fucking munters joining the virtual, was it the Thunderdome? Like, they pay
yeah.
to get in the Thunderdome. So they're getting all these munters money to put on a shit show. And two, what else are they going to watch? Like, what other wrestling are they going to watch? It's this or AEW. They can't go out and they can't go and watch like indie wrestling and be like, no need to watch Raw because I can go and watch this. Now there is no alternative. On a Monday night, you want to watch wrestling, all you've got is Raw. You want to watch wrestling on a Friday night, you got SmackDown. I think Impact runs on a Friday night now. Like it, it, they've been very smart with how they've set it out because they can keep going and everyone else can't. They can just keep raking in the money because there's no other shows for wrestling fans to watch other than AEW on a Wednesday night, which is why they've moved NXT so they can keep getting money. You know?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm just looking on the WWE Superstars page right now,
There's
Not
no
Joe, but
huge guys, is there? That like
I'm just looking. I'm just
genuinely
like,
the biggest
oh God,
names on the current roster right now, for my money, you've got
Edge.
Roman Reigns. You got Roman Reigns. I guess like obviously Edge because like the nostalgia thing, but like of the new guys, you've got Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, uh, Sasha Banks probably. She's obviously a lot big. Um, I guess Strowman maybe, Charlotte Flair,
I I I would
and
include
Becky.
Kevin Owens, but
Ke-
that's me.
you might be right there. Actually, I think Kevin. I think he's sort of hit the mainstream. Well, I say the mainstream. He's at like the wrestling mainstream now. Like
Yeah,
he's one of those guys that he's not even really in like the title pictures anymore. He's just like he's always doing something. Sort of like Cena was. Like when he wasn't in the title picture, he was always doing something.
who the
It's
fuck is
just
Slapjack? Is he on NXT?
oh, it's like the retribution stuff. See you. Here you go, listeners. You can tell we haven't watched it because
Who's Slapjack?
Retribution
What
have been on
stupid
television since
fucking
about
name.
October last year, and we still don't know who they are. Like it's obscene.
The Miz lost the championship in his picture.
Oh,
Changed.
that's a bit
Why
dated
would they
now.
take a picture when they booked it after him losing it?
No, they need it for WWE.com, obviously.
Slap
Flapjack, what a guy!
stupid.
Got
He's
such a
not even been
crap
in a
name.
match, has he?
He must have had a match at some point,
Oh,
surely.
he had one versus Matt Riddle.
Oh, great! Fucking hell!
Yeah.
But yeah, what were we saying? We were like WWE. They're going through technically their best financial year in ages, but in terms of the quality of the product, it's just dirt bad
Very
because
poor.
yeah, it's very very poor because they know they can just not put effort into it because they don't have to because people are going to watch anyway. You know, people they don't care about people buying the pay-per-views anymore because people will just pay for the WWE network, so they get the money from that. You know, it's why pay-per-views don't feel like they're as big of an occasion as they used to back when you know even back in like 2015, 2016 time, pay-per-views still felt like big events, or relatively big events at least, even though people weren't buying like the actual pay-per-view, they were just paying for the WWE network. And I think we've seen in very recent years, because you're just going to pay for the network anyway, the company don't have to put as much effort into building the pay-per-views as they did because you're still just going to watch it anyway.
That's very true. I just don't feel like it's as big anymore. But hopefully they'll get better people in, and we'll see how it goes. But I feel like it's definitely better that they moved to Tuesday nights NXT,
Yeah,
just because AEW is very
AW is from all
stacked right
accounts.
now.
Yeah, from all accounts, AW is like a very good show. Again, we wouldn't know. We're just taking other people's words for it. But from all accounts, it's quite good. But moving NXT to Tuesdays, I think whether they move it back later on down the line or not, I think it's the right decision personally because NXT, they're not even cracking like a million viewers most week. Now, with this move to Tuesdays, hopefully they should be able to crack that 1 million mark because obviously AEW takes up most of their viewer base, right?
Yeah.
So, because it's the very, very, very similar audience. It's like the more hardcore wrestling fans that would be watching either one of them. Obviously,
Oh, I
AW,
agree.
AW, like they are sort of marketing themselves towards the like a newer crowd, I guess, because obviously
Yeah.
it's a new brand and stuff. Like same as like how TNA and slash Impact. That now I guess that's more of a hardcore market than it used to be. But when that first started, like that was like a new market. They were trying to market towards. I just said market like 4 times in one sentence. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to get across here. Like
Yeah, definitely.
it's going to benefit both, but in the long term, that could be a bad thing for WWE. Is giving them this space to breathe now. It will also allow for growth of them, and then they could, introduce other shows on other nights. Like, when WWE introduced SmackDown, WCW had Thunder, and when Raw went to 3 hours, TNA moved to Monday nights for about 2 months, and then they moved back to Thursdays. Like, it wouldn't be the first time WWE has dealt with them moving, but this is the first time they've had to move because they're not winning, which I think
Yeah.
it's a big warning sign for them that I think they should pay more attention to, because they don't want to go down the same path they did in the 90s where all their big talent leaves because they don't have a guy like Steve Austin waiting in the wings who has the potential to be this world beating, fucking money machine.
Yeah, I definitely I can see that. I just a lot of the guys now are pretty young, so I don't feel like
Yeah,
there's a
yeah, like we do obviously have to bear that in mind. A lot of the WWE guys are fairly young, you know.
and
Uh,
you can say that of AEW as well, though.
yeah, I think AEW having those working relationships with New Japan, with Impact, with God knows who else, but having those working relationships actually is going to help them in the long run because it'll allow for more international expansion. Because they've got their working relationship with New Japan, obviously. If AEW start running shows in Japan, or they get the New Japan guys over in America to work some AEW shows, genuinely, I think that's curtains for WWE. Like when you start getting like Tanahashi and Okada and like the other like the huge Japanese guys over, at that point, if AEW moved to a Monday night, nobody's watching Raw. Like because Raw, unless unless they do move to that Monday night, if AEW move to that Monday night slot, it will be like the Monday Night Wars again, where WWE actually have to pull their finger out their arse and start making good television to make sure people stay watching.
Yeah, I feel like
That's WWE's biggest problem, and it has been for so
yeah,
many years, is they don't have any competition or any real like stateside competition, so they don't need to try.
but now they of course do.
Yeah, I was going to say now AEW, the first sign of retreating somewhat is they've moved not TNA, they've moved NXT because they're losing the ratings battle every single week, and they have been for however long it's been on television at this point. Like it's early signs, but I feel like we might get like a proper like wrestling war now.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it'll be good
Maybe.
to see.
It will, because it will mean WWE will actually hopefully start making good content, and that can literally only be for the positive.
Get some legends back in, get them
Oh,
wrestling.
that's
Bring back
the oh
Tatanka.
no. Fuck Tatanka.
Right,
Uh, we'll
should we
move
move
on
on
to
to our
our last topic of today.
somebody call his mama?
It's your favourite and mine, Brodus, the Beefcake Clay. I don't know if it was the Beefcake. No, it wasn't. Brodus Clay.
It's the Funkasaurus.
It's the No, the Funkadactyls were the girls, weren't they? It was the Naomi
No,
and
he was
the other one.
the Funkasaurus Rex, and then
Yeah,
the
he was
girls
the
were the
Funkasaurus,
Funkadactyls.
and the girls were the Funkadactyls. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a Lord Tensai as well. But yeah, Brodus Clay. Um, it's more of like a jokey one than like a serious career review, or WWE career review, like we've done with Ryder and we've done with Nakamura, because
Yeah.
there's not really a huge amount to say on Brodus Clay, is there? Like,
He was fun. He was fun, but
yeah, he was fun. I guess that's the word you'd use.
uh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, like, you know, it was funny seeing him.
It was
You know,
funky.
he comes out and he does the funny dance, and you go, ha 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 ha, funny fat man doing the dance, ha 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 ha.
Oh, his theme song though was an absolute banger.
Oh
Somebody
yeah,
call my mama.
I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure Naomi did uh I think she did a cover of that for like the Funkadactyls theme song entrance, because they had like a very slightly different version when they came out for their like tag matches and stuff.
Yeah,
She
I
did a
think it.
cover, which I
Yeah,
only remember that because I
I
used
remember
to
that.
watch, and this is really embarrassing, but I used to actually watch Total Divas, so like I know that from that.
I would watch the clips when they would come out of Turtle Divas.
Oh no, I would watch like the full like episodes. Like genuinely, I feel like I've probably watched every episode of the first 3 seasons of that show.
Wow,
That's what I used to fucking spend my time doing, was watching Total Divas. Just
it was good at
shambolic,
the time.
shambolic.
But
I don't even know who's on it these days. Like,
is it still on?
I think.
Fuck off! It's not. Hang on.
Well, I know. There's the one with the Miz
Didn't
and
they do like?
Maurice. There's the one with
Yeah,
the
they
Miz
did.
and Maurice that's still on.
They did Total Bellas.
I know.
But
I don't think I ever watched Total Bellas, but I definitely did watch Total Divas. Like, I remember they made like a load of them a couple years ago, and then like they cancelled a couple. It might
well, it
genuinely
started in
still be going on.
2013 and it's got 9 seasons. So yeah,
It probably is still going on.
it's probably still going. Oh my god! We'll have to do a review of the latest episode.
Yeah, no, it is still technically going ahead.
It's got Nia Jax in it now.
Yeah, here you go. Season 10 is expected to premiere. Oh, it's supposed to have actually premiered last year. I think it was, yeah, so it had been renewed and it was supposed to come out, but I'll tell you what, that's why it didn't come back. COVID. So, like, what are they going to do? They're just going to sit in the house and then just go, uh, whoever's in it, Maurice goes to Miz, Mike, I'm bored. And he says, yeah, me too. That's the whole episode. Like,
It could be good.
I don't know, mate. I can understand why they cancelled the season. I'm
Wow.
sure. I'm sure it will come back. Like, we'll come back to
Bring
this.
back Total Divas.
We'll come back to this podcast in like a couple like months or something. They'll have announced season 10's getting a release or some shit like that. It'll be it'll be great.
Apparently,
But
season 10 was
this,
supposed to premiere in October 2020.
yeah, I suppose that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
But back to
Hashtag bring
bro
back Total Divas.
back to Brodus Clay.
Big Brodus.
Big
Have you got
the
a few
big
points
bro.
on his career or?
I
Well, to
haven't
be fair.
taken any notes here. Like, I'm gonna. Oh, lordy.
I remember when I didn't
Um,
get to dance with him. That's all I remember. Just think I could have been on TV chat, but I did not get ringside ticket. So
wow. Okay. Fun fact: Brodus Clay is 48 years old.
fuck off. What? How old was he in NXT then?
Very probably.
Well, that would have been
He
like
made
what,
his debut.
38?
He made his debut in
Oh,
2006.
got a right baby face.
He does, yeah. He's a political commentator now.
Oh, he's like Kane.
Well, I mean, Kane's like an actual legitimate politician. Like,
Oh yeah, he was a mayor.
yeah, he's 6'9". Tall
I
dog.
always thought he was quite short.
Nice. Well, I think it's because he's quite wide as well. You know, he weighed
Yeah,
three
I was
hundred and
thinking.
75 pounds.
But I guess when he would be up against other wrestlers, he was fucking towering over.
Yeah, like fucking little vanilla midgets like Dolph Ziggler. I say that Dolph Ziggler's actually like 6 foot something. So who else? Evan Bourne. There you go. He's a midget. 5'9".
Someone's born to fly.
Ugh.
Oh, you gotta love Evan
Ooh,
Bourne.
here we go. I've got a list of his ring names here. Uh, so obviously there was Brodus Clay.
Was it
Uh,
like Tyrus? No.
Tyrus.
Carry on.
When he wrestled in TNA. Between 2014 and 2017. I actually remember him in TNA because I think I watched like a couple. I used to watch Impact, or like the Monday Night Impact, whatever it was called. I used to watch Impact back in the day because it was like the Hardy Boys. It was the Hardy Boys feud thing with Broken Matt Hardy, Broken Hardys, whatever you call it. So I was watching around that kind of time frame, and like he was occasionally popping up, and I just vaguely remember him having like a match with God knows who. But yeah, he was there for a couple of years. Never did anything while he was there. But
What wasn't Brodus Clay on? Oh, I could be wrong about this, but wasn't he on GTS wrestling?
GTS, I don't know. GTS, I don't even know what GTS is.
It's Grimm's Toy Show wrestling.
Oh, he probably was.
They had Kurt Hawkins on at one point. Hang on, I'm gonna
Mate,
Google it.
mate, honestly, I guarantee you that people like Brodus Clay, they're just trying to make a quick buck, I guarantee you they'll have been on Grimm's Toy Show. Apparently,
Oh no, I don't think so.
this is, I'm genuinely shocked at this, right? Brodus Clay won, well, he didn't win, but he was ranked 74th in the Pro Wrestling Illustrated top 500 singles wrestlers in the world in 2012 and 2013. 74th.
Oh my god,
I am. I want to know who came below him. Because, Jesus Christ.
dying. Listen to this headline. Uh, we might need the Jerry Lawyer, everyone. But
Oh, God. Jerry Lawyer.
former WWE wrestler Funkasaurus Brodus Clay accused of sexual harassment.
Oh, no.
Oh god, what are you doing?
Oh, Brodus. You dick.
Oh god, what did he do? Let's have a look. You carry on. I'll have a look what he did. I'll have to
Diddle
read all
woman.
this.
Okay, well, we'll just go through the
Oh,
rest of his ring
it's just
names.
text messages. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go through the rest of his ring names. So obviously there's Brodus Clay and Tyrus. So here are some of his other ones he used in like the indies and stuff. Monstrous BC,
Okay.
right? He used his actual real name, George Murdoch, and George T. Murdoch, apparently, which I guess T would be his middle name, or T for Tyrus, even. Maybe.
Tyrus, yeah.
And then we have my favourite of his ring names, just because of how stupid it is. G Rilla. like G-Rilla, like a gorilla, I guess. G-Rilla or driller. Maybe he's a driller. I'm not a driller. Stop calling me a driller, okay? I'm not a fucking driller. Well, he's a
We
griller.
we we need to get oh, what's his name? Not Francis.
Brodus Clay.
Oh no, who's the driller guy on TikTok?
I don't
Isaac.
know, mate. I don't know.
We need to get him on there.
Of course, because
So
he's gonna have. I was gonna say because
I'm just
he's gonna
looking
have
up
like
some
the
of these.
most high IQ understanding of wrestling, I assume.
Exactly. But
Because
no,
obviously he's not a driller.
these bloody some of these names in GTS wrestling.
Oh,
Actually,
Trip
should we play a little
Hawkins.
game? I'm gonna say a name, and you have to say whether it is a GTS wrestling name or not,
Or you've made it up.
or I've made it up.
Right. Okay.
Right, the first is D-Bag.
D-bag. Absolutely, that's a real one.
No, that's fake.
Sounds like something
Captain
that would happen.
America.
Real.
Yeah, that's real. Uh, let's have a look. Um, John Curtis.
Yeah, that's a real one.
No.
Well.
Jungle Jim.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah. Spider Dick.
Oh, for Grimm's Toy Show, I'm gonna say no. That's fake.
That's real.
Really?
Spider Dick.
Really? Right. Okay.
Cloud Thunder.
What do you say? Cloud Thunder.
Cloud Thunder.
Yeah, I think that's real.
Lego.
Hey folks, this is Future Jack while I'm editing this video. Just letting you know, video and audio cut out because what we were recording with just broke for a second. So, wonders of technology, eh? Get you back to the rest of the video right about now.
Oh.
Sorry for that, folks. Our recording just cut
Might have to
out.
cut that together.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Right.
Go back to what you were saying. Sorry, Joe.
Carry on with the game. We'll do 4 more. Right. So Biggie Biggs, real or fake?
Biggie sounds real.
That is real.
It's real.
Kamikaze.
Yeah, no, that was a real one.
Yeah. Jet Wash.
I think that one's real as well. That sounds like a real one.
That one's fake.
Okay.
There's a guy jet washing outside my house and a man watching. Cool.
Just sitting
I
there
haven't
watching
watched it
him
all.
jet wash.
Alright, final one. Soda Pop Smith.
Oh god. Yeah, that sounds real.
That's real, yeah. Oh, these are pretty well there. Some of these are just stupid though.
Yeah.
Tony U-Haul. The One Piss.
Wait, Tony U-Haul. So what? Is he just a fucking delivery driver?
It was probably Robbie
Oh.
Illuminati.
Oh, that's so shit.
Oliver
Robbie
Closeoff.
Illuminati.
Oliver Closeoff.
Oh no.
It's Nate the
Oh,
Lawyer.
Nate the lawyer. Wow.
Meadowland Monster.
Jesus
Uh,
Christ. I need to start watching Grimm's Toy Show. I need to start watching
Justice
GTS Wrestling. This sounds.
so stupid.
Jesus
Justice D.
Christ.
Deville.
Justice Dean Devil. Oh no.
So it's Justice D. Deville.
Like Deville, like Sonia Deville.
Yeah, that's probably it, actually.
Justice D. Deville. That, oh. Immense.
Jobber Jerry.
Yeah, well, okay. At least he's straight to the point. Like, he's there to lose.
Ivy Platinum.
Oh. Oh.
Hollywood Hooligan.
These names are worse than the ones I would come up with for my WWE, like, creator characters.
14 Kid.
F-
Ed the
14.
Ref.
Oh.
Doyle Day. I probably said this in the thing, but Dirtbag Dan.
That's funny. Okay.
Bonifer.
Bonifer. Great.
Ace Marksman.
8. Oh.
Adam Bizarre as well, but that's his real name.
Oh, that's his shoot
Wait, no.
name. His last name is Bizarre.
His real name is Adam Bizarre, but with one R. But in his GTS name, it's Adam Bizarre with two R's.
Great. Gotta keep the
Why do they have
kayfabe.
the extra
Gotta
R?
keep the kayfabe alive.
Oh, that's so. But anyway, back to Brodus Clay.
There's just not a lot to say. Like,
Just
it's just completely derailed by Grimm's toy show.
GTS. Oh, we need to do a segment on them next week. It's like stupid.
Yeah, Brodus
That was
Clay.
That was only half the names as well.
Oh, well, you don't need to go through the rest of them.
The rest of them are just normal. It'd be like Johnny
Johnny
Cock
B.
and Balls or something.
Johnny Cotton. Oh, right.
Johnny Cock and Balls. Right. If I ever go to America, I need to get a guest spot on GTS.
And you'll be Johnny Cock and Balls.
Johnny Cock and Balls. Oh my god. But so Brodus Clay, I enjoyed him as a kid, but he pretty much
He was crap.
as soon as he tagged with Sweet Tea.
Oh, bit of Lord Tensai. Bit of Tensai action.
He abused his manager, by the way. I saw a video the other day of him fucking like shoving him. What was his name?
Tensai.
Komoto?
I don't know.
No.
I have no idea.
Hang on.
Dan. The name of his manager was Dan.
Dirtbag Dan. Sakamoto, that was it.
Right, okay.
Real life name Johnny Dick and Balls.
Johnny Dick and Balls.
You add the extra L on in the TV.
Yeah, the only difference is like it's spelled like Dick and Bowels is the actual surname.
Dick and Balls.
Dick and Bowels. Oh, Dick
can,
in
like,
Bowels.
Like when he's a kid, yeah, like substitute teacher, be like, Johnny Dick and Balls? No,
Dick
it's
and
Johnny
Bowels?
Dick and Bowels. Oh,
Johnny
God.
Dick in Bowels? Ooh. Anyway, on that terrible, terrible disappointment of a segment, I think we'll draw this to a close.
Oh, that's been great. Thank you everyone for listening out. It's been a weird one today.
It's been an experience. We've had
I've
technical difficulties.
I've been Joe Dick and Balls with Dirtbag Jack.
Hey, I'm
So that's the only one I remembered. I didn't mean it.
Johnny.
Hang on, let's look for a flattering one. Hang on. Jack Jingles.
Johnny Jingles. That's me. It's been. To
be fair, if you were on there, you'd be like Jack Me Hoff or something.
Joe Dick and Balls and
Joe Dick and
Jack
Balls.
Me Off.
Oh my god, I'm just looking at these. Henry O. Goodwill.
Oh. Yeah, so it's been Joe Dick and Balls and
You could be Jobber Jack.
Jobber Jack.
Jobber Jack
Thank
and
you.
Joe Dickable.
Thank you for listening to the WAP podcast.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.